Good afternoon, everyone. It's Dr. Shiva Ayadure, and we're going to have our discussion today on Moringa. We're going to focus on immune health today. First of all, Moringa is grown widely in many tropical and subtropical countries. The earliest documented medicinal use is recorded about 150 BC. Now, the leaves, the seeds, and you can see in this diagram, the leaves are this beautiful green. The seeds, the bark, the roots, the sap, and the flowers are all used in traditional medicine. The fruit of it has very powerful properties for male health. There's many pieces of this. If you look at the immune system in their model, this is the 1915 model, this is a modern model, but this is a model that they confuse you with on the immune system. This is the advanced model of the immune system, which is what I presented at the National Science Foundation. What you're going to learn in the next few minutes is you're going to get a quick training on the immune system. You have the innate immune system, where a pathogen comes, your immune system turns on, and it tries to release these cells to try to kill the pathogen. After it's done doing that, calls upon the adaptive immune system. And the adaptive immune system tries to create an antibody, and that's it. The virus mutates a little bit, guess what? That antibody is useless. It's a small piece of the entire immune system. The immune system is far more complicated. What the real immune system looks like, what's a lot closer to this. And by the way, I'm considered one of the leading guys, and I have to pound this away. My PhD's in this out of the #1 institute in the world, MIT. And my PhD work was in the interferon system. When you look at this diagram, what do you see? The immune system is not just those two little boxes. It involves the interferon system, which interconnects the innate and the adaptive. It involves all your gut bacteria, the microbiome, the virome, which interconnects through the gut-brain axis to your neural system. This is why you got to be careful. What occurs in your gut, the microbiome, affects your brain. So you put trash into your gut, you're going to get neuroinflammation. So the entire immune system is far more complex. It's more of a beautiful orchestra. This is why, as I'll explain the interferon system, there are people who get a virus, they don't have any antibodies, right? They've been infected, they're asymptomatic, but you know what? They are completely strong because their body put out something called interferons. Interferons are in every cell of your body. Antibodies aren't, interferons are. And those interferons literally go unleash natural killer cells and CD8 cells, which are cytotoxic cells, okay? No one ever talks about this. So why aren't we saying, hey, how do we boost the interferons? How do we boost the interferons? Antibodies, 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 antibodies. That's it. And this is why you need to get educated on a systems approach. So Moringa, it's a widely researched dietary supplement, 3,104 research articles, 23 clinical trials. It's over 85 years. So over 85 years of research. That means almost about 100 since around the Depression in the United States. Moringa has been researched reasonably well. Over 85 years of scientific research. Now, when we do this research, you can imagine all those articles that we have to go through. So one of my technologies, my recent inventions is a technology called Cytosolve. So I created this technology so we could actually understand how you start mixing ingredients. So we can take lots of literature, run it through Cytosolve, figure out of all the science, we suck those papers in and we figure out which ones have to do with immune health. And we figure out which ones had done in vitro and in vivo, right? So we throw out a lot of the garbage papers. And then from that, we can actually find out which of the papers have molecular interactions. So we extract that out. And then we can integrate those molecular interactions to give a holistic view of what's going on in the science today. I wanted to let you know that we use the technology here. We've helped many companies over the last 16 years, a lot of smart, innovative companies, but we decided with all the mathematical models we've created, why don't we try to use this to compute the best product we could think of from the science out there for reducing pain and inflammation, pain and discomfort. And that resulted in us creating MV25 using Cytosolve. We're going to have more products that are going to be coming, but let me just show you what MV25 is about for those of you who haven't heard about it. But this is using Cytosolve in a beneficial way, not to just do research, but find combination therapies.
Hi, I'm Barbara Ann. My hands would cramp up so that I couldn't hold cards or knit or crochet, and they would go like that. And I'd have to use this when I played cards with my grandkids. And I started taking that MV25. After a bit, I was able to hold cards in my hand, very little cramping, hardly at all anymore. MV25.
Hi, my name is Sandy. I'm a Taekwondo instructor. I tore my ACL during Taekwondo. I had a lot of pain and limited mobility. I've been taking the MV25 for about 6 months now. After the first week, I noticed a big difference. After the second week, almost literally no pain.
My name is Jeremy, and I suffer from a lower back problem. Hurt my back at work years ago, and I can go to the chiropractor, do all kinds of different things, and nothing seems to help. And I decided to try MV25. I didn't notice a difference immediately, but within a few days, the pain went away, and it stayed away. I've continued to take it, and even when I do things that I shouldn't do, it seems to go away a lot quicker than it ever did before.
It's clean food certified. It's made in the US. If you go to vashiva.com, right on the shop, you'll click there, or you can go right to mv25.life, either way. And then from there, you can click on the bottle and you can order. If you buy 6 bottles, you get 6 bottles for free. Please take advantage of it because first of all, it's going to help you. It's going to help our movement, and it really supports the fact that we want to take science-based approaches to natural products. So when we looked at all that knowledge, what we find out is Moringa has about 110 different compounds, and that's just what's been isolated so far. Now look at all the different kinds of chemicals it has. It's got terpenes, which it's got alkaloids, saponins, tannins, steroids, glucosinolates, flavonoids. If you looked at many of the other ingredients we discussed, they typically have polyphenols, but this has so many different kinds of compounds. It's a powerhouse of compounds, all right? Number one, and all of these are known to have medicinal benefits, documented in thousands and thousands of papers. So what are the biological effects? Well, here's a Moringa. It's called Moringa oleifera. Anti-inflammation properties, neuroprotective properties, means protects the brain, antioxidant and liver protections, anti-cancer. It induces cell cycle to stop, arrest, and apoptosis, which means the proliferation of cancer cells. Antimicrobial, it modulates blood glucose. At least 7 different kinds of documented, clinically studied biological effects. Let's look at the health benefits. The leaf can be used for malaria, arthritis, diseases of the skin, hypertension, typhoid fever, swellings, parasitic diseases, diabetes, cuts, contraceptive remedy, genitourinary ailments, boost immune system, illicit lactation. The lactation piece is a very powerful piece for women. Aging, antimicrobial flu. The bark, aiding digestion, stomach pain, poor vision, ulcer, hypertension, joint pain, anemia, diabetes, cough. The flowers, very different for tumor, inflammation, hysteria, enlargement of the spleen, muscle diseases, aphrodisiac substances. The epilepsy, okay, for the root, help during labor, toothache, anti-parasitic, worms, anti-paralytic. And then look at the pods, infantile paralysis, malnutrition. I've never seen a product have so many different uses. Moringa grows in the most horrible conditions. You can have no water, desert, very little, it'll grow there. This is just the typical immune response. You get infected by a virus over here. Here's your lung epithelial. Here's a virus. Your macrophages, which are in the innate immune system, try to chomp up this virus. They squeeze through it, eats it, squeezes through, and it presents what's called the antigen, the outer parts of it, to the CD4 cell, which is in the innate system. And this calls upon a B cell to create these antibodies right here, and they go stop the virus. So you have the innate macrophages, the adaptive. But this also can call upon a CD8 cell, which tries to eat up the virus. But guess what? As I mentioned, that's just the oboe playing in a beautiful orchestra. It's not the whole picture. Here's now the interferon system. The interferons constitute the first line of defense. They create an antiviral environment in the cell. Antiviral, they are present in virtually all cells in the body. If you want to go look on the old videos, you'll see everything I've done on interferons. But the interferon system is a missing link. When your interferon system turns on, it's like the entire orchestra is coming to life. Your body turns on thousands and thousands of genes. Those genes have powerful effects in creating an antiviral effect. And you have to go ask your doctors. You have to start questioning people. Why do they not talk about the interferon system? Why? Why aren't we talking about how to boost the interferon system? Why is everything on antibodies? And you'll see that is what is called the reductionist method. You look at a very complex problem and you just focus on antibodies. This is the actual immune system. So now that you understand the immune system, let's look at Moringa. So Moringa modulates the immune response via anti-inflammatory mechanisms. Anti-inflammatory activates immune system, both innate and adaptive. But look what it also does. It's an antiviral, it's antibacterial, and it's antifungal. It's many things relative to the immune system. So what does it do? As we've talked about before, look at the NF-kappa beta. Everyone's going to understand this. NF-kappa beta is very closely associated with cancer. When NF-kappa beta is on, you're turning on inflammatory cytokines, as you can see here, IL-6, IL-1 beta, and TNF alpha. These three little musketeers cause inflammation. And then on the other side, you got COX-2 and iNOS, which leads up to PGE2 and NO, which also cause inflammation. Moringa stops MAPK. MAPK is a molecule, so inflammation leads to harmful and disproportionate immune response. Protein kinases, this is called MAP kinase, MAP kinase, activates transcription factors such as NF-kappa beta. So MAPK will turn this on, NF-kappa beta. Everyone, these protein kinases activate these transcription factors that then create in your body these cytokines. So just think about it this way. NF-kappa beta literally communicates the DNA in your cell and tells your DNA to make TNF alpha, IL-1 beta, IL-6, which are inflammatory cytokines. Now, you need a little bit of them, but when they're constantly turned on, your body's in constant inflammation. This leads to cancer. It leads to a whole host of diseases. And what does Moringa do? As you can see here, Moringa blocks MAP kinase, which blocks this. But that's over here. Moringa also activates compounds that also inhibit COX-2. You have a very powerful effect of turning down inflammation. Next, we're looking at the interferon system is also involved. I want everyone to look at interferon gamma here. So Moringa extract increases the activation of CD4 T helper cells. So here's a CD4 cell. What is a CD4 cell? The CD4 cell is like the Navy sharpshooter. The CD4 cell makes an antibody for a particular pathogen. So what Moringa does, as you can see here, Moringa leaf will turn on the CD4 T cell, which turns on the adaptive response. But guess what it also does? It also turns on the interferon gamma system, which is that missing link system. Interferons get turned on. And guess what? The interferon system helps go turn on killer cells, which go eat up the virus, okay? So macrophages directly kill the microbes, phagocytasis, and mitigate the infection. And this is effective against herpes simplex virus type 1 and hepatitis B virus. Let's take another effect, right? Guess what else it does? It has a powerful effect also on blowing up bacteria. So if we look at the cell here, so imagine this is the nuclear wall here, DNA over here, and remember the DNA has these rungs in it, and the DNA replicates itself and it creates what's called mRNA, which is a piece of it, and this messenger RNA goes to the ribosome this way, and the messenger RNA starts putting out proteins. These are proteins. And what Moringa does, it literally comes and here's Moringa. It comes in the bacteria and it stops this process. And that's what you're seeing here. So what you'll see here is the Moringa leaf extract blocks the DNA into creating proteins. This is essential for the cell to even survive. So the peptides found in the Moringa leaf disrupt the cell wall of the membrane. The cell wall disruption leads to intercellular content starting to flow out. The leakage of the intercellular content leads to disturbance in the osmotic pressure, the eventual death of the bacteria. But more importantly, the Moringa leaf extract also inhibits protein synthesis in bacteria, thus killing the bacterial cell. Okay, so there's a two-part effect. The next thing is the antifungal activity. So if peptides found in the Moringa leaf also disrupt the cell wall of fungi. The cell wall disruption leads to the same thing. Very similar to what it does to bacteria. It doesn't stop the DNA transcription process, but it does stop that. So when you're looking at Moringa, what you're seeing is it's got a synergistic effect. So now, if I take Moringa again, you can see if I take not just the bottoms-up Western approach, which I've just done with Cytosolve, you can now take an engineering Eastern systems approach. Look what Moringa does. It stabilizes transport. What does that mean? It calms you down. Because if you're moving around a lot, like people have Parkinson's, people who talk very fast or jittery, that means they have an issue with transport in their body. So it stabilizes that. It also stabilizes Pitta over here, all right? And it increases Kapha. If you need to put on weight, if people are very skinny, don't have enough weight, it increases Kapha. It's an anabolic, believe it or not. And what should be the dosaging? Obviously, you should consult your doctor, but let's look at the literature. Okay, well, maintenance dose is about 2.5 to 4 grams per day. You can actually get Moringa powder. They throw everything into it, all right? And you want to look at what the extract has based on what I just shared with you. For cholesterol control, 4 to 6 grams of dehydrated leaves. For diabetes control, 8 grams per day. This is from Stowe's et al. By the way, these are all the research on it. For milk production, Turkemotz et al. Said 500 milligrams day of leaf extract. Again, that's for women, okay? Lactation. Even WHO, who I don't care for too much, has finally recognized the power of this tree of life, to support many, many aspects of health. So in conclusion, when we look at it, Moringa has the following capabilities. It inhibits inflammatory enzymes such as COX-2 and INOS. It activates the adaptive and innate systems to directly kill viruses. It exhibits antibacterial activity, disrupts the cell wall, inhibition of bacterial protein synthesis, and it also kills fungi via disruption of the cell membrane. There you go. Thank you, everyone. Be the light.